Oh shit. Dum dum
Dum dum dum.
dum 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 dum. Take the hit, take the hit, take the hit. Dum 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 dum.
Welcome back to FPL Take The Hit. You're here with Mick and Joff.
Hey.
I've got a head torch.
Off it goes, off it goes. It looks good, I liked it.
You liked it?
Just get the lighting going, you know.
Good way to start
like-
the season, you know.
Oh, what a way.
Get the lighting going. I thought, we're gonna look the part.
Oh shit.
Oh, what an off season it's been, Joffy boy. What price reveals are in?
Yes.
New season's about to begin. You just celebrated a born day, perhaps.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Always, it's kind of like a FPL tradition. The day that I get born into this experience is when the FPL for the season gets born. Isn't that beautiful?
It's a beautiful thing.
Close enough timing, anyway.
It's one of the reasons I love your born day. It's right around price reveal time. And we know as soon as the prices come out, the game comes out, and we're live, baby. I think everyone's deep into their drafts. So I'm pretty deep in there. How deep are you?
Oh yeah. Look, I kind of make a team, and then I kind of just wait. I usually just wait unless I get like a bit of awareness onto something like Bruno Fernandes being on pens over Rashford. That kind of just came into my awareness today. So I've had a bit of a play today. Are you still playing?
I like to wait for the game to go live, and then I just shut off. I just shut off all the voices. All the noise. Shut the noise off. Definitely don't jump on Twitter. That's a trap. And make my own team. Make my own hotel.
Yes.
And then from there, from the team that I make, from me, then I like to listen to others what they've got to say in penalties, set pieces, that kind of bullshit. And kind of improve and that kind of stuff from there. So I made a team. It would look pretty good, and then now I've slowly been influenced, slowly, but you're sticking to that coming back to where I started. I like
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's your team. Other people can give you suggestions. They can tell you what to do. It's like with your life, but it's about your life. It's about your experience. What do you want to do? Which players do you like? Maybe you like someone like Neto from Wolves. I don't know. You're like, put him in. Fuck it, why not? Oh, don't let anyone else tell you not to, just because they're like, oh, Neto. It's like for me, I've just recently, in the last, 20 minutes, I put in Calvert-Lewin just for a laugh. And here I am, and it's probably going to have people laughing as well. But maybe I'll start with him. I know that he's on pens now. That was kind of what did it for me. Just got a kind of bit of wind into penalties. And the VAR, it plays a bit of a role in, it's a lot more penalties these days, isn't there? There's a lot more opportunity for penalties. But anyway, without further ado, shall we just start with some pivotal players, some players to keep an eye on? What do you feel?
I want to kick it off with the two premiums that everyone's umming and ahhing about, and for me the influence, what's being influenced out there is to only go with one of Haaland or Salah. And I think this is fucking madness, purely because they're two of the best players in the league. They're easily probably gonna get the most points, both of them. One or the other. Haaland might go ahead and do what he did last season. He might not.
He will.
But at the same time, you've got Haaland coming in at 14 million. I get it. It's a lot of money, and you want to spread the funds. But Salah at 12.5. I think that's a step down. You got cheapened up by 12.5. Sweetens the deal. So you got Haaland and Salah in the same team. Can you pull it off, Joff?
Of course. I mean, look, it just depends on how you want to play the game. It's up to each individual what they want to do. But if they get an influence to not pull it off, then I don't know about that. But I mean, Salah and Haaland as a team, I know it's like 25% plus of your budget, but you can make budget moves elsewhere. Like someone like Brian Buemo, 6'5" in the midfield, no Tony there. Eze on pens for Palace, you know what I mean? Just kind of get a couple of cheapies and just you can make it happen. True?
Yeah. I mean, that was my first instinct, my first thoughts when the game went live was obviously, the first two names in my team are Salah and Haaland. I don't care what they're priced at. They're the two players. They are the guys, So, if you're going to try to cheap out and bring in Darwin Nunez and expect him to produce solid numbers, you're kidding yourself.
Nunez. Who starts with this Liverpool team? That's the thing. They've got so many players right now. It's going to be epic.
They got Crackpo, and is he going to start? We've got Saudi Arabia just raiding the Premier League at the moment, so we're not sure who's going to be left to actually play. But Henderson looks like he's leaving. They got this Solzabai. How do you pronounce his name?
That's
New guy.
Yeah, you cooked me, man. I knew how to say his name. Now you cooked me because it's definitely not that. Salisbury or some shit. I don't know.
You got Curtis Jones, Elliott. These Liverpool teams are who's who of who's going to play. You got Salah and two others up front. Who are they?
Maybe Darwin. Maybe I reckon Diaz. Diaz looks good. Diaz will gonna he'll have an epic season. I like to see. Oh, we've got the little queen here. As if you guys remember us, the beautiful husky. She's just talking currently. She's like, maybe she'll jump up. We'll see.
And a lot of the drafts I've seen, even from from influencers, a lot of these big names, they've got Trent but no Salah. Like, why? Why would they do that, Joe? Why Trent and no Salah? You tell me.
Can't answer that question. You have to ask them. It's a little bit crazy for me. I mean, for me, Trent's a little bit overpriced now. I don't know if he's going to be playing that midfield role, however it's going to go down. It's just, I mean, look, some tips from me for right now until the start of the season is, just make your own mind up and just wait for the preseason kind of games. Wait for some games. Wait for some consistent minutes. Wait for the, the truth, the awareness is coming that you want for you to decide your team. So it's a good idea to learn patience right now. Observe what's going on. Look at the friendlies. And then, come a week or two before the game, you'll know. You'll just be like, "That's my team." So it is.
That's it. I mean, don't become attached to any of these players. There's a lot to come in preseason. There's a lot more information that's going to fly out. Lots of transfers too. The transfer window is still open.
Very open.
So there's a lot that's gonna change between now and the start of the season. So it's all about, just remaining versatile, remaining dynamic, and that ability to shift and change with the tide as it flows.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Definitely keep the options open. And I mean, looking at Arsenal's run this season, I mean, they've got United in game week 4, but besides that, their first 5 games look pretty awesome for another. I think they've won 5 in a row in the first half of the last season as well. So, obviously, players like Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, Jesus, they're defenders as well. They've just signed Havertz. Just calm down. Plenty of options at Arsenal. True. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the wagon right now. I've only got 2 Arsenal players. However, I mean, with the start that they've got, it is probably recommended that you go 3.
Yeah, they've got good defenders as well.
And it's easily done with Jesus up front, one of Saka, Odegaard, or Martinelli in the middle, and then one of their defenders, which are kindly priced as well. Or even Ramsdale at $5 million. So Arsenal have been underpriced again this season. For what they produced last season. I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna start with Gabriel. He's not a striker. Neither is Havertz. So Arsenal once again don't have a striker. Now, what does that mean? It means that they're going to get a lot of goals from midfield. Yeah, but does that mean you want to own Gabriel for a nodding striker? I don't know.
Fair. I mean, I'm looking at Jesus for sure. I feel like preseason is going to dictate Arsenal for me. Just going to wait to see who plays, who starts. What's the story down at the old Highbury? But it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic to see what happens. With the preseason games, and Odegaard for me is one to look at, obviously, and Saka on pens. Absolute bargains there. The midfield for me is probably going to be stacked with at least 5. I think five in the middle this season. Why not? You got such great options everywhere.
No, I definitely agree with that. I think that's the one of the standout formations that I'm finding is that 3-5-2. And that just seems to be the place. You've got Haaland up front, locked in. He's going to be in 100% of teams. So then, where do you go from there? We're talking about Arsenal, but if we move on to City, do you go for another City attacker? And who's it going to be? Do you want to play that Pep roulette? At the moment, with my drafts, they've only included Haaland so far. The only other place I'd probably even think about is Phil Foden. With Gundogan gone, does that mean that Phil Foden starts to play in the Phil Foden role?
Hey.
I don't know. Maybe. However, at 7.5 million, once again you're rolling that dice, and with the 6.5 million midfielders we've got on offer this season, I'm not looking at Phil just yet. you looking at any other City players?
At the moment, just pre-season. Just waiting for pre-season to see how that unfolds right now.
I didn't ask that. I asked right now, bro.
Well, right
now,
now,
right?
I'm just waiting for
Pre-season hasn't happened
bro.
yet.
I'm just no, I think it's going to be interesting. There's no doubt. I mean, the awareness that I'll give is more so just with City. I'll definitely be looking at City when the time arises, because they're not. There's no kind of pep roulette that needs to take place because of extended different games. Man, you got to calm down, Queen. There's basically just one league to operate at, which is just the Premier League, until the Champions League comes back, until these other leagues that come in. So I think they're a great option. I think 3 City is probably not a bad idea, especially someone like Ake and more so Akanji at defense for 5 million. That's cheap as shit. Depending on who's the one that they're going to start with. Grealish, the back end of the season last season, great option potentially. Mahrez if Bernardo goes. So City, why not? Reigning champions, Haaland show, beautiful.
Yeah, they're a wait and see for me, just to wait and see who actually gets started in this City team. And I feel like that your game week 1 team is, you want to try to get in these nailed on starters as best you can, obviously with what limited information we're given pre-season. However, one of the things that I always strive for, I always set an intention to begin with, is do not wildcard game week 3. Whatever you don't fucking do. The amount of times I've done it, this season I'm not going to do it. So I'm going with these nailed on starters early in the season, which will mean no City besides Haaland. It's just gonna be that way.
Fair.
But I mean, people like to roll the dice. Roll the dice. It's up to you.
Yeah, fair enough. And moving along to the other Manchester team in United, I think that another nice little start there as well. Wolves and Forest in their first 3 at home. Fernandes, Rashford, options. They just signed Mason Mount, another option. Obviously, pre-season is going to dictate to see where everyone's playing. You'd think that Fernandes is playing behind the striker, which is going to be Rashford, maybe Anthony on the right and Sancho on the left. Is that how it's going to go down? Mount behind Fernandes with Casemiro. I don't know. Maybe Eriksen. Where's Eriksen? So it's going to be interesting to see what they do here. It's going to be an interesting season for United. I think they're back. I think this is a season that we're going to see not the United of old, because Ferguson no longer coaches anymore, but a good United, a solid United that could potentially challenge for something anyway. True?
Nah, I don't see it. They need a striker desperately. They need a goalkeeper now all of a sudden, because De Gea got left on a free transfer. He's a free agent. United are going to get themselves back together. But I mean, we saw what Ten Hag did last season. So can he keep that going? Yeah, he's got the team to do so, and he's there's no more Ronaldo holding them back either, which is a good thing. And then they've got a good start to the season, and I love Fernandes at 8.5 million on penalties. Playing that quarterback role. It doesn't matter if he's deeper or further forward. He's always going to play quarterback. That's the only position he knows. And Rashford for that extra 0.5 out on the left or up front. That's a tricky choice between the two. That's gonna stump a lot of people. But whoever you end up going for, just stick with them. There's going to be a lot of jumping, a lot of bandwagons that happen early on in the season. And a lot of the time, you get caught up in the moment, in the mayhem. But just remember that the team you chose to begin with, sometimes that's the best team.
Yeah, I like that. Always back yourself. That's always a true statement. You got to do that. Got to do you. And so definitely going to be interesting there at United. But
so speculation about Onana becoming that goalkeeper.
Yeah,
could happen.
Could be. Again, one of those ones for pre-season for me. It's good to see what happens with United in pre-season, to see if Rashi does start up front. Because if he's playing as the centre forward, they do have a striker and a good one. He scored a lot of goals last year.
It's true. But
it's just obviously to see what happens with Ten Hag. Because I feel like Sancho's got to start. You got this guy that's a weapon. He hasn't done anything for United. He scored a couple goals, obviously, but I think that Sancho is going to be a great option if that's the way it goes down. Definitely going to be interesting. But yeah, moving on, I want to talk about Spurs a bit here. And Spurs' first couple of games are not necessarily easy, but easy, still going. But if Harry Kane ends up staying in the league, is that someone to keep an eye on again, Lish? What do you think?
Man, I saw a picture of Harry Kane training with James Maddison. I didn't like that picture at all. I feel we're going to get a lot of those. If the Harry does stay, there's going to be a lot of Harry Kane goal, Maddison assist this season. Harry Kane's finally got himself a quarterback. He's been waiting. He's been patient, and there he is. There's James Maddison playing that QC position. So, what's going to happen there, man? Does Harry Kane have to share set pieces now with Maddison? Yeah, is there going to be some free kicks taken off him? Obviously, Harry will stay on pens, but I don't know. If Harry does stay, I like it, man. That Maddison could fill that role that's been missing from Spurs.
Yeah, definitely. Madison's a great option. 7.5 million as well. Could be a great. I mean, he's a player that they didn't have last season, like that kind of type of player. There's not many Madisons out there right now, but Son on the left. Another like you kind of expect a season from Son this season. He's priced at 9 million. The energy's a bit more. It's not as kind of I don't know, not as much expectation. Son could be a real amazing option. He's the one that I'm looking at. I think that he's someone that he's gonna start. You know what I mean? Sonny Boy is Sonny Boy, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens at Spurs. Spursy side, huh?
Spursy side. I feel his FPL price somewhat transfixed his season. That expectation surrounding Son last season was huge, and then he didn't score in 7 or 8 games. Got the bench, and then scored a hat trick and did all right from there. And this Spurs team, what do we expect from the Aussie? Postecoglou.
True.
Postecoglou at Spurs, he hasn't done much except for what coached Celtic to the perennial league as they win every season.
He won a couple.
How's he gonna get? Is he gonna go in the Premier League getting roasted by the Premier League teams? Yeah, he's got Brentford, who are no joke, up first at home. Away. Then United, Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield. So 2 iffy games to begin with. We're going to see what Postu's got in those first 2 games.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Those first 2 games it's gonna show us a bit about him. But at the same time, even if he starts slow, it doesn't matter. It's not a bad thing to lose. Like, that's one of the things that I like to teach kids is it's good to lose. If it becomes like, I don't know, if you get good at losing, it just makes everything easier because you become a good loser. Because all of a sudden when you lose, you can bounce back instead of being upset and holding on to it and not letting go of it. So having being open to losing is something that even the start of last season, there's a few teams that had indifferent starts and then they just bounced back and they dominated. You got to calm down.
Yeah, it's all about learning from your losses. Like if you get upset and you let the anger and the frustration of the loss consume you, well, you ain't gonna learn shit. However, if you're open to understanding that it's all blessings or blessings in disguise, when that blessing in disguise comes as a loss, it's okay. It's like, okay, why? Why did I lose? How can I learn from it? What's the angle? What are my assets? And you just keep on moving from there. That's the beauty of losing. It's the learning. Sometimes you don't learn from a win, because you've won. So obviously, what you did to achieve that result, it's working. That's why it's always good to lose. So I enjoy a good loss.
So let's see what happens with Ange in the first couple of games. And obviously she's been dying to say hello. Far out. She's been crying. But it's good to have her up here. She's a queen. She's nearly 3. Maybe it's her birthday call. Happy birthday, huh?
No, not just yet. Her birthday's on the 28th.
A couple of days.
July, so we're nearly there. Nearly there for the little 3-year-old Queenie.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's grown up. And for those that have watched her for a bit, then respect. You've seen her. She's a big girl now. I'll tell you what, big wolf. But
I think we've gone just about enough without talking about the boys in blue, mate. Talk about Spurs. Talk about United. Talk about City. Talk about Arsenal. We haven't talked about these sexy fellas. These sexy boys. What a season Chelsea are going to have this season.
Yeah, what do you think, man?
Because it's got to be better than last season.
38 goals, 38 games.
38 goals, 38 games. In cuckoo, baby.
He's a weapon.
Nicholas Jackson, yeah.
What do you got? He had 11 goals in his last 10 games for Villarreal. And Nkunku had a season. He had a day out, like, every game, basically. That's going to be interesting.
And Nkunku's going to be on pens. I'm calling it. I'm calling it now because, with the scout reckons Reece James on pens, I think they're cooking themselves. And Nkunku, he took what all of Leipzig's pens last season, so he's going to be on pens for Chelsea. I can almost guarantee you that. 7.5 million as a forward. I reckon it's a bargain. I know you got that trauma, baby. I know you got that Werner trauma, the Havertz trauma, any Chelsea striker trauma. But it ain't going to happen this time around. Because we've got, Nkunku is proven. He's coming into this Chelsea team without too much expectation on the back of a horrible season for Chelsea. So it's only onward and upward, I feel, for this Chelsea team. And one thing that Chelsea lacked last season was that quick pace on the break, and that's what Nkunku has. That's what Nicholas Jackson has. This pace, this injection of pace into the team, which is going to be huge for Chelsea.
And Sterling as well, obviously. Sterling at 7 million. That's someone that I've got to keep an eye on. 7 million for Sterling, and Pochettino's he's cleaned out the closet. He's gotten rid of a lot of deadwood, a lot of players that, like, that's the thing, is when you've got too much of something, you kind of, I don't know, you kind of can't see everything. So it's good to clean up, let go of whatever's meant to let go of. So that's the thing, is another life lesson is, like, it's good to let go of things, in your experience, and sometimes you replace it with nothing, because you just had so many distractions in your experience. That's the same thing as what Poc's done. Poc's going in there and going, oh man, how many players have we got? This is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, we've got 25 first team players. Like, it's like bloody Inter Milan from bloody 15 years ago when they had like Cambiasso on the bench, and for those that know about that, but they had a lot of big names on the bench. They could make a first team from their second team. That's what Chelsea could do as well. But in this case, it was a little bit different because Chelsea's just couldn't get a team together on the park anyway. You guys couldn't form bloody many results. Obviously, Graham Potter was a little part of that, wasn't he? Couldn't really get it together. But I can see Pochettino doing some pretty special things. And the only thing with Nkunku is he might be playing as an attacking midfielder, not as the centre forward, if one of the other ones do step up into that role. But I think he's going to be an amazing option. And Cucurella, or Chilwell, whoever it is at left back, Reece James on the right. It's going to be an epic season for FPL Chelsea players, because they're all beautifully priced, like absolutely beautifully priced.
Yeah, Enzo in the middle there. Gallagher possibly getting a start. Ziyech still at Chelsea. Pulisic is gone. Once again, cleaning out that closet's been so important because it was just too much fluff flying around. So all that filth's gone. Chelsea's is new and revived, and it's a good start to the season too. Yeah, Chelsea up against Liverpool. I like that. Getting right on the back is good. Liverpool at home, then West Ham, Luton, Nottingham Forest, and Bournemouth. So after that little initial Liverpool game, it's just smooth sailing. So everyone's going to be looking at Chelsea players come game week 3. So for me, it's just getting on a bit early. Rolling that dice on Nkunku at 7.5 million, I think is a no-brainer. Or Sterling. You could go for Sterling. It's his second season at Chelsea. He should do better. If he gets the minutes, and I think Poch will give him those minutes. So those are the two big standouts for me so far. Unless you want to go Reece James or Chilwell at the back. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this season for Chelsea.
Nice. And moving right along to the boys in white, Leeds United. Yes. Moving right along from that. No, we went down proud. Like, it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta take a couple steps back to go forward. So we'll go down. We'll keep who we're meant to keep. We'll let go of who we're meant to let go of. We'll be back next season. Don't you worry about that. And I'll have a rest. As a Leeds United fan, it is what it is. You kind of this is actually good for because most of you that watch this, you have teams, and when your team goes down, it just is what it is. You just kind of you got a different perception of the league. Of course, there's no pressure though. You just get to enjoy the beautiful game for what it is. Even though I've always done that, to be fair, with Leeds lately, especially because we don't really we're just playing for the top 10 usually, or top 15, So we'll come back. I reckon we'll come back with some players into the league next season and have some fun. So see what happens. But I reckon maybe we go through a few other teams and a couple of players to look at, like someone like Villa. Any players from Villa you're looking at?
No, not at all.
Oh, shit.
I was feeling maybe we just go into our own teams, our own drafts. I mean, we've spoken about some of the top teams, who to look for, and I'm looking at the rest of this season ticker here. I mean, besides like Brighton, you could talk about Brighton, but then Who are you going to talk about? Matoma, Solimarch, and Estupinian?
Yeah, I feel like Stupid. I feel like it's not a bad idea though. Like, you know, someone like Brentford, you know, Mbeumo, you know, Tony's out. You know, Mbeumo, someone to keep an eye on. 6.5 million as a midfielder. If they don't sign anyone else, he's their striker. He's replaced Tony. Obviously, Wissa as well, obviously. So they're a good little dynamic duo. Those two there. But yeah, look. I mean, obviously for me, yeah, Brighton. Good to talk about Brighton. They got, you know, great fixtures for the first three. Yeah, Solimarch, Matoma. Yeah, could be epic options, and they're obviously in the Europa League, so they're going to sign. They've signed some players. They've got a little bit of depth all of a sudden, which is very interesting. So,
are you looking at anyone from Brighton?
Yeah. Oh, look,
in your initial draft.
At the moment, nah. At the moment, look, like I said, for me, I'm waiting for pre-season. You know what I mean? Like it's I've put it away a little bit. I'm just doing.
Do a little ticker up the top next to your head to say how many times does Joff talk about pre-season?
Oh, it's just all about pre-season to me. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's all about seeing what happens in pre-season and then see what happens because after pre-season, ding. Oh shit! No, it's good. It's good. And now obviously Palace Eze, you know what I mean? I think that's another player to keep an eye on. Obviously Elise, if he comes in, Edouard. We know that Zaha's gone, so they're gonna have to fill in the gaps somewhere there. But go on.
Yeah, I think Eze's a good option. We saw what he could do last season. He's going to be. I feel he has become that talisman at Crystal Palace. So with Zaha on the outs, Eze, time for Eze.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you want to go straight into your team, but like someone like Newcastle as well, I feel like it's not a bad idea. Just a brief 20 seconds about them, because I mean, you know, Wilson or Isaac. That's what we're talking about. We've seen how Wilson ended last season. So keep an eye on Wilson, because Wilson's ended very well. He got doubles for fun, you know. So Eddie Howe will be starting them both, I guess, at the start of next season. That's what I'm feeling.
Callum the Troll at 8 million, but who's going to buy Callum at 8 million when you've got Jesus, you know, Gabriel Jesus there at the same price? He's just going to be. He's a differential. He's a good one. He's a good one.
I think. I mean, I don't know. Well, Wilson's on pens.
That's true.
And Jesus, you know, you don't call him a striker.
He's not. He's not a striker at all. He's not a striker. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And is Isaac, you know, Isaac's second season now in the league, 7.5 million. He's well priced underneath that 8 million bracket. You got Watkins as well at 8 million. So you got, you know, those are the 3 8 million strikers: Watkins, Wilson, and Jesus. So, you know, who do you choose out of those three? I think Jesus is probably the better option, but I don't want any of them.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Mitrovic for 0.5 less. He scored a double in his first game last season against Liverpool. You just can't rule Mitrovic out as well. Like, Mitrovic is a weapon. You look at his stats from last season. He was suspended for a lot of last season, and he still managed to get, 14 goals or something like that. So I'm a big fan of Mitrovic. I really am. And even from Everton as well. I think Calvert-Lewin, in their first, 4 games, they've got Fulham, Wolves, and Sheffield United. So, you know, 3 or 4. So Calvert-Lewin, if it all aligns that he actually starts to score goals again, 6 million for Calvert-Lewin on pens, that's very cheap. Very cheap.
Yeah, he's a bit of a wait and see for me.
Pre-season.
I feel like ding. I feel like you know, with 0.5 less, you can have Luton striker Carlton Morris, who's on pens as well. But do you want that though? Like, he's been in a few of my drafts, in my current draft. But then it's just like, do I really want Carlton Morris in my team? I probably don't. I might just keep that 1 million in the old back pocket, and just wait for those bandwagons to roll in game week 2. You know, that's kind of where my head's at right now. But
yeah, nice.
Who knows? You know, we've got the privilege of a couple of 4 million defenders, Amari Bell and Bayer. So you got Amari Bell from Luton and Bayer from Burnley, who look to be starters, which is great. You know, you got a couple of 4 millions on your bench. So for me, I was like, you know, that extra 1 million that I've saved in having those two, I put it into old Carl Morris. But I'm not too sure about that. I'm teetering.
Carlton Cole Morris, huh?
Carlton
Cole Morris. He just used to get 7 points back in the day. 6-7 points, Carlton Cole from old West Ham. But yeah, no, look, that's a good little wrap. I like that. And what about your team, Mick? Tell us about your team. Who you got? What are you feeling?
Let's have a look. Let's bring up the old team scheme.
What's your feel, man? What's your feel?
So as I just mentioned, I'm going to start from the front. I like to start from the front. I got Carlton Morris in there at the moment.
Cole.
He's just sitting in there Morris, 5.5 million as that the first bench option. I just don't think I'm going to start season with him. It just doesn't look good for Carlton Morris.
Doesn't look likely.
Doesn't look likely. Alongside him, we've got Haaland in there, obviously, and I've got Nkunku.
Hey!
Nkunku. As the third striker there. Midfield is Saka, who I feel is going to be in everyone's team. Who's he selected by there? 50%. Only half you boys got him in. Come on, boys.
And girls.
All ladies.
All
the ladies out there too.
FPL ladies.
Haaland 85%.
Oh,
so
85%.
Of course. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, fair.
What do you expect?
I don't think I've ever seen that before, though.
No, he was 90% last
season. He was 90%?
Yeah. That's Haaland's going to be in every team.
I already look at that thing.
So Saka in the middle. He was literally right up there with alongside Salah in the first three that I put into my team was Salah, Saka, and Haaland. And then I've gone for Fernandes, not Rashford. And then my two 6.5 million midfielders are Mbeumo and Eze. That's who I've got in there. And you can see those, of those 7 upfront players, I think pretty much they're all on pence. They're just all on pence. I mean, Nkunku's not guaranteed yet, but we pretty much know. We pretty much know. And then my back line, I've got the aforementioned Bayer and Bell, the two cheapies. I've got Botman, who I think is just an absolute steal at 4.5 million for Newcastle. We didn't actually speak about him.
Botman.
Mingsy at Villa, who were kind of brushed off, another 4.5 million steal. And I've gone for Gabriel as my Arsenal defender.
Fair play.
And I've gone for the combination of Fabianski and Areola. The who's who knows who's going to start at West Who Ham. But one of them will start, and that's him. And that's the team, bro.
Yeah, nice. Solid team. I like that. You got a nice bench. You love your bench, and why not have a nice start to the season with a little bit of Carlton Cole Morris. I like that. I
think Carlton Cole Morris is going to go.
See what happens, huh? My phone's currently on this. We're recording off it, but I think you guys have got an idea of who my team is, and I feel like obviously Salah, Haaland, Fernandes and Rashford, or Odegaard and Rashford, one of those two. I'm definitely going to double up there because I've got Saka as well. So I feel like stacking this midfield is not a bad idea. There's just so many great options ready to just dominate from game week 1, because we usually end the season with 5 mids. And with players like Maddison and Mbeumo and even Eze on pens, it just seems like there's so many options in the midfield this season to just really get the ball rolling. Like Son, there's just so many. It's actually pretty ridiculous. So 5 in the midfield is probably what I'm going to start with. Up front at the moment, as I said before, Carlton Cole. Not Carlton Cole, Morris. DCL, Dominic Calvert-Lewin was someone that I've got at the moment. He could be someone's pretty special. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm waiting for pre-season. Ding! And then in defense the same. A couple of cheap defenders. Botman. I think I've got Saliba back there at the moment. Maybe Akanji. Maybe something like that. So and Pickford's my keeper at the moment. I think that obviously what's his name, Sean Dyche. He loves to keep clean sheets. They've still got Dyche's goals. They didn't sack him yet.
No,
They haven't sacked him yet. So I'll keep him. I'll probably have Pickford until Dyche gets sacked.
You're on double Everton, huh? TCL and Pickford.
Well, look, I'm going to give Dyche a chance. I like Dyche. I think that they're going to give him a chance as well, but he probably will get sacked.
I think you got a little bit of Leeds trauma there, bro. Everton stayed up, Leeds went down last game week.
I'm going with them though, bro. So you reckon I'm facing it straight away? Is that what you're trying to say?
Good on you.
Good on you. Oh man, DCL. I reckon he could do some DCL, but
I don't think so.
And then obviously Haaland, permanent captain Haaland. I think he's going to get another 40 goals for the season, maybe more. He's got experience in the league now. Pep's got another season with Haaland there. They've just bought Kovacic as well. I think he's going to be pretty epic in the midfield. I know they lost Gundogan, but Foden comes in. It's just going to be an interesting season. It's just going to be a beautiful, interesting season. So and so it is.
So it is, man. This podcast was brought to you by Sacred Herbs, the herbal healing alternatives that Joffy and I are all into. Yeah, a lot of herbal healing out there. If you haven't heard of Blue Lotus, look it up. It's going to change your life. Yeah,
that's it. SacredHerbs111.com. We're into promoting a lot of yes, a lot of different just ways of living, basically. So yeah, check it out. Check out the website there, and yeah, beautiful.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us at FPL Take The Hit. As we say at FPL Take A Hit, always remember to stay positive.
And accept the reds, but embrace those green arrows, guys.
Woo! Second House 111. Check it out. Love
Peace and love
y'all.
all. And yeah, bye from the Queen, huh?
She's been there the whole time. The whole time.